So what are you using this? Like, what's going on with you? What is this? This is new to me. What are you doing? What are you up to?
I need audio to go with an update video because a bunch of stuff happened this week. What's up, Steve?
I can't right now. Well, I have a meeting in 4 minutes, and I'm talking to Russ and Shaurabh right now. I'm gonna cook eggs later.
Tell us
What's
how
up,
it
Steve?
is.
What up?
This is an update on what happened this week. There's some good stuff. Mazak's bootcamps are going to be online and free in the second week of December. They're not doing them in person right now, but that means you also don't have to pay to register for them. Sharby, did you go to one?
I have.
Have you been to one of those?
I have.
What'd you think of it?
I loved it. I learned I wouldn't say at a 101, maybe a 201 level how to get started with MTConnect, and it was relatively technical. Like it was more than just like, a talk with like Russ on what MTConnect actually is, but here's how to use it. That was cool. I liked it.
The second thing was we've got this demo with kinematics. You know what kinematics are, Steven?
I've heard it said a lot of times with you guys.
I'm going to tell you.
I couldn't define it myself. I think I know.
You know how like when you're looking at a CAD model, it's giving you shape and size, sometimes color. Kinematics is motion. So like think about a 6-axis or a 9-axis robotic arm, and the linkages between each of those sections of arm and the joints.
Yeah.
Kinematics are like the relationship of each of those pieces and how they move related to each other. You can have the same thing for a CNC. Yeah, so we've got this demo where we take your shape data and your motion data, so geometric and kinematic models, and we serve them all up with the MTConnect agent, which means that you can have basically a side-by-side visualization of here's what's going on in the machine with nothing but your MTConnect stream, and you're looking at a little screen that's, hey, here's my machine model, here's the motion, and you don't have to build that as a one-off, which is nifty.
That is cool.
It's not done yet. There's still a couple months left of development, but the early on people that saw it were like, please give me this through the MTConnect agent.
Cool.
Shaurabh did it already for the stuff on the test bed.
What did I do?
I remember all
Kinematics?
that. You did the kinematics.
Yeah, we did do that. Like I have all the measures and everything.
Did you model the mill or the robot or both?
I want to say both. I have the XOM 7 device file, which has all the coordinate systems bit. It might just be there, like the agent, whichever Raspberry Pi it's running on, it might just have it because it's all of it is modeled in the device file itself.
Yeah. Remember how?
Yeah, and also remember I literally had to use a freaking scale to do it, like literally a ruler, whatever you guys call it.
The machinist scale. It's not a ruler, apparently. It's called a machinist.
It's called a ruler when you're an elementary schooler, but once you're a machinist, it's called a scale.
Oh, so I was right. Yeah.
There's the ASME has a committee that's working on model-based standards definitions. Speaking of models, so everything we were just talking about was physical models, and then like the kinematic motion models, that's for physical things. This committee is concerned with information modeling and how you model. It's basically how you would make an information model. It's like the inputs to what Shaurabh needs to, describe a CNC machine or a robot or something like that. Are you late for a call? Oh, that looks dope.
I am late for a call. I'm going overtime 5 minutes.
Did you know about this model-based standard definition meetings?
I got to know very late.
Yeah, but you know what it is?
No idea. Once Will mentioned, and then one day you also mentioned. I didn't bother to ask.
It's a couple years old now, 4 or 5 years old, but now it's actually making some significant inroads to giving guidelines for how you would model an industrial information model.
Yeah, I mean, I've been to some of the meetings. They had it at NIST during, what is it that NIST do?
Model-based enterprise summit.
Yeah, so ASME had like a significant bit there, and I remember attending that. And even 1, 2 years later, Will was still like, it's not really progressed, and like it's not really moved anywhere. It's the same old conversations.
I mean, this week was kind of useful, and there's a couple new players and some people with an axe to grind and something to prove. So I found it useful. The thing that was really interesting yesterday that came out of as a conclusion was this idea that you have basically information interfaces inside a company or inside an overall enterprise. So when you get from engineering to manufacturing, for example, like engineering has their models, they have critical business data, and somehow that makes it to the shop floor. But there's this membrane, like a theoretical conceptual membrane between when it's on the plant floor versus when it's in engineering, and things that tie all that stuff together are important. So stuff like, you don't need to go, and this is me talking, not the committee talking, but like, you don't need to remove paper documentation from your machine shop. But if you have one regime or schema for ID on the machine shop and you have a completely different schema for ID in engineering, you've ruined the interface between those two departments. Like, there's no reason that ID would be different in each place.
So that's something that even the ISO group has taken up every month or so, which is solely focused on identifications, like IDs, bunch of different types of IDs, UUIDs, GUIDs. Within UUIDs, you have UID 3, UID 4, like there are different formats to it, different way to go about it, what they represent. So there's a whole in-depth conversation there going around UUIDs in the ISO. I want to say digital twin. I'm not sure if it's a digital twin one, but
That's what Martin chairs, is TC 184, SC4, Working Group 15. That would be a logical place for that work that you're describing.
So it's SC4 AHG3 digital twin identifiers. So it is that, yeah.
Of course, there's the people that were on the model-based engineering and model-based standards definition call. They're talking about how inside their companies, they'll get people that complain like, I don't use standards, it's too slow and unresponsive and incomplete, and it slows us down. So then they just make up a new regime inside. But you also don't adhere to there's no company standard either. So you end up with basically rogue duplication of effort. That's everything that's going on.
Cool.
What's going on with you?
With me, nothing really. I have half or less baked, let me put it this way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 songs. Well, technically, the one that you sent, which I didn't work on at all, so remove that. 13 songs that I actually worked on.
It's a good album called 13 Songs by Fugazi. I'll send it to you.
Okay.
All right, I'm out of here.
See, I'm going to go back to the match.
Enjoy your crickets.
All right.